Hey everyone, One Spit here with another battle report. So I was facing some High Elves yesterday, brought out my Beastmen, and this is the list that I think I've decided I'm going to take to the tournament in July. So I'm not sure I'm going to use it a whole lot between now and then, but I did want to bring it out against High Elves because I've never used it against High Elves, and I play them so rarely, so I wanted to make sure this list, that I would know how it would stand up against it. So we decided to do 2,500 points, so really I just added... and the tournament's 2,400, so I threw in another Chariot and a couple guys and called it at that. So Battle of the Pass, the board looks like, as you can see it. Let's go through the High Elf list. Starting on my left, he's got an Eagle, Northern Sea Guard with a level 2 Lore of Shadows caster, some Archers on the Hill, got a fairly big unit of White Lions, and with them is a Battle Standard Bearer. This model, I think, by the way, I thought was very well painted. Even if you look at the gem on the banner, I never learned how to paint gems well. It just looks nice. He's got a unit of Swordmasters. They've got the banner of Sorcery, and he's got a level 3 kitted out to where he's pretty close to being like a level 4. And then he's got some Spear Elves with a level 2. So he's got a pretty dominant magic phase. 3 casters is a lot of points tied up in magic, but when he's channeling, he seemed to be getting a lot of channels. But he's got a lot of dice as well, because that banner of sorcery. So, and there's another eagle, by the way, on the right of this picture. So kind of interested in, I'm really not worried about the Northern Sea Guard or these Spear Elves. I really think any unit I have can take them. Swordmasters and White Lions are a different story. Not sure yet how I was going to handle them. So I've got some Harpies, my smallish unit of Gore, Minotaurs with my Doombull. I've got my Horde of Gore with my Battle Standard Bearer and my level 4 Beasts. I don't usually put both characters in this unit. I usually put the Spellcaster with my smaller unit of Gore, but they were so far out to the side, and I couldn't get the BSB to reach all my units, and so I didn't want to put my level 4 somewhere where that unit might take a break test and run off the board. Anyway, a couple Chariots, got my Bestigors at the Standard of Discipline, and I do that for this very reason. They don't need to be near the General, because with that standard they have the same leadership as the General. And they are within reroll, and I figure they're a more important unit than the smaller unit of Gore. Anyway, then there's the other unit of Harpies. So, Beastmen turn 1, I move up, as you can see. The only thing I was really trying to do there, I wanted my flanks up relatively far. I wanted my Harpies to be able to charge his Eagles. I don't want his Eagles being able to redirect me anywhere. And I wanted my 2 Chariots to get a double charge on his Swordmasters, just to kill as many of those guys as I could through impact hits before I have to take them on with my rank and file units. So for the most part, this unit on my left, the Gores, I want to match them up with his Northern if I can, and if I can get my Primal Fury off, then I'm pretty confident I can win that. They'll be outside of a reroll, but they might be near my General. I like my Horde going against the Swordmasters, my Bestigors against his Spear Elves, and the only thing I'd be worried about are my Minotaurs against his White Lions. I think he's going to win that, but I am willing to throw my Doombull at the White Lions, because I think he could hold him up for a while and just wear him down eventually. So ironically, I have this expensive unit of Minotaurs that may not even see any action, because I plan on getting the Doombull out of there, and then my Minotaurs are only going to see action if I can, reform them and then help with the Swordmasters or something like that. Anyway, during the magic phase, get Flock of Doom off, kill a couple of the Swordmasters. We go to High Elf turn 1. For the most part, he just moves up, maintains his battle lines. He he does charge his Eagle. Excuse me. Charges Eagle into my Harpies, and yeah. Then we go to combat, and the Harpies tear that Eagle up. These Harpies, I'm liking them. One, their initiative is high enough they go first against stuff like the Eagle, and they just have so many attacks. I mean, he was fighting 4 of my guys in base contact, so I get 8 attacks, hitting on 4s, wounding on 5s. So I should do 1, maybe 2 wounds if I'm lucky. If I do 1, he'll have a charge. He'll probably do at least 1 wound. He likely is going to win. These guys did 4 wounds on him. they just, yeah, it was insane. So anyway, so go to Beastman turn 2. I thought my plan would work. I got for my Chariots into Swordmasters, one of them needed a 7, the other one needed a 6. 3 dice each. Yeah, I missed with the 6. I couldn't get it. So I'm only getting one Chariot into the Swordmasters. Kind of bummed. The Swordmasters have a 5-up ward save because of a high magic spell. So my Chariot basically kills 4 of them through impact hits, and then, oh my gosh, I mean, he did like 9 or 10 wounds to me. Killing 4, he almost got his points back. He costs 80 points, and that kills 60 points with the Swordmasters. So, yeah, whatever. So High Elf turn 2. Really a couple interesting things happened. One, he charges Swordmasters into my Chariot. My initial reaction was to flee, and then I realized, you know, he's easily going to kill it. I think I'll pass my panic tests, and then he really should get into combat with my Horde, but we're not going to fight that until my turn. And I actually kind of like that, because then I could take the Doombull out of my Minotaur unit, charge them in the flank, and have my magic spell, have my magic phase to buff up that unit before we actually have to fight. So I held with the Chariot, and I'm actually pretty happy about that. Otherwise, I was kind of surprised this unit down at the bottom, the Northern Seaguard, he actually moved up pretty far to where it's not a difficult charge to get my my small unit of gore in there. And here on the left, he just kind of wheels his archers up to shoot at my Harpies. I'll probably forget to talk about it later, but basically he missed them. Didn't wound a single one. And here on the right-hand side of the board, yeah, he moved his Spear Elves up, because I think he just wants me to charge him. He doesn't want to charge me. But that's going to be a tough one for him. My Bestigor should handle that unit pretty easily. So after combat, yeah, he totally wipes the floor with a Chariot, does an overrun, and rolls Snake Eyes. He only goes 2 inches. And he, you know, had he rolled higher, he could have, you know, wheeled and made it like a regular charge into my Horde, and that's what he wanted, and I was really wanting it. Because now on my turn, I can charge him with the Horde, and I can charge with my General, but it's a little bit further. I'm not guaranteed to make the charge. So we go to my turn, and it's going to get bloody real quick. So the Horde charged his Swordmasters. My General did make it. At the end of the day, he didn't need that much to get in there. So I'm pretty excited about that. He's going to kill a ton of my guys, but I think I'm going to kill a lot back. So my only fear is if he kills enough that it breaks my General from combat. That's really my only concern about that whole fight. If you look at the bottom, my Gore get a charge into the Northern Seaguard. I go ahead and take my Harpies in there because I want the Harpies to help kill that spellcaster. And in the top, the Bestigors go into the Spear Elves, and again my Harpies come in because I'm going to get 1 or 2 of them that are able to target the spellcaster up there. And of course he's got his General against the Horde, so I'll be trying to kill him. So no matter how these combats go, if I can get all 3 of his spellcasters off the table, I think that'll really help my chances in the game. So during the magic phase, I was really rolling fairly. I think I rolled a 6 every time for the Winds of Magic, or something like that, 6 or 7. And he has the Anulian Crystal, so he takes one of my power dice and adds it to his Dispel die. So anyway, I had 6 power dice, he had 6 Dispel dice, and I just threw all 6 at Weisson's Wild Form, got an Irresistible Force. It killed 3 of my guys, killed a couple of his guys, and I'll take that any day. So now my guys are Strength 5, Toughness 5, because they have got the banner of +1 Strength, and then they've got +1 Strength and Toughness. And so, yeah, I think we win that fight. And at the end of it, yeah, they went to town. The Swordmasters ended up killing 5 of my guys. I think 3 died to my miscast, and then 5 died to the Swordmasters. And then we killed significantly more than that. They were on Snake Eyes. We ran them down because the Horde rolled higher than the Swordmasters. But I went ahead and moved my General first so that he could kind of block my Horde, because I did not want his White Lions to get into their flank. So, and I'm not sure if he was or not, who knows. At the bottom, yeah, he killed 3 of my Harpies in that fight, but I killed his Mage, and it didn't matter. We beat them through combat res. Basically, we were both re-rolling to hit. He had a hard time getting past my +4, my extra toughness, and I just did a lot more wounds, so beat and ran them down. At the top, the Bestigors and the Harpies killed that Mage, and I won combat, but he was able to stick around. I think I only won it by 2. So they're at the top. again, I like my odds there of winning that eventually, but really I think I broke the back of his army by getting his sword masters and his general and all his spellcasters off the table. So yeah, no complaints there. We go to High Elves turn 3. So his swordmaster, his white lions come into the flank of my general, and that's pretty. I mean, I couldn't flee it because he's frenzied, and that's going to be tough because he's going to have a static combat res of a charge, a flank, a banner, and 3 ranks. So starting at 6, I'm probably unlikely to do 6 wounds on him. So he's going to win combat, and if he beats me and runs me down, it kind of puts him back in the game. Here on the left, this is kind of funny. His archers charge my Harpies, and I was wrestling with the idea of, do I stay with them or do I flee? If I flee, it's going to force a panic test on my gore unit. But the problem is, if I stayed, he's going to kill him, and then it's going to be a panic test on my gore unit anyway. So they fled. My gore failed their panic and fled away from the nearest unit. And at the time, the nearest unit was his white lions. So they fled towards the side of the board. Archers redirected into them, pushed them right off the board. So I think they figured that they killed a mage and a unit, and they were done for the day. And this battle for the pass, I know. So they hit that side, and they just kind of scatter. So this is the one that I'm worried about, and it's the one that's going to give him the most chances for the game. Even if he beats my general, though, if he comes into the face of that horde, I don't know, that's going to be tough. I mean, he's going to do a lot of wounds. I'm going to do a lot of wounds. And the trick is if he wins, if I'm steadfast or not. Because if I can still be steadfast, I'm going to win the war of attrition, I think. So let's see. This is on my right side of the board. The Bestigor and the Harpies tear up the Spear Elves this time. The Harpies pursue and are unable to chase them down. The Bestigor just reform so that if my general does stick, they're going to get a flank charge into the White Lions. And then, yeah, they came in. I issued a challenge. It pushed his battle standard bearer to the back rank, so at least I didn't have him fighting me. He didn't do a single wound to me. It just, he was strength 6, so I had a 4-up rerollable armor save. He wasn't getting his rerolls to hit, and my toughness is high enough that it wasn't easy to get through. So at the end of the day, he won combat by 1. I needed a 7 rerollable. I got it. Then I was able to reform, and we knew that on his next turn, the Bestigors are coming in the flank. And we both felt that I was going to win that. So he didn't have anything left on the table that was going to affect anything that I had. All I'd really lost were a couple chariots and a small gore unit. I've got my Minotaurs haven't even seen action yet. So at that, we decided just to call it as a pretty solid victory for the Beastmen. The outcome of the game makes it seem different than it was when playing it. Really, he couldn't make it. He had these ward saves up or regen saves. He just wasn't making any saves whatsoever. And, if there was anything he couldn't re-roll, like trying to wound me, he just couldn't roll anything. So the dice were not in favor of the High Elves this game. But anyway, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it.